So I will talk about to wrap things up, so we can stop. um, Final Fantasy 16 because that's out, and I literally took 2 days off of work to play it. Um, it's good. It's real good. I know you said you're interested in Naira.
I am.
It's so good. So I'm gonna start off with the combat. The core goal of the combat in this game is to stun your enemies, then to like do as much damage as possible while they're stunned, and
Mhm.
do as much damage to get them stunned in the first place. So it's just constant damage you have to be doing on like certain enemies, especially the bigger enemies. And that's just fun, just stringing together all of these iconic abilities as they're called in between like perfect dodges because of course you don't want to get hit and take damage. It's just really fun. It's an action game through and through. It's all about doing as much damage as fast as you can while dodging attacks. Um, and because of that, the RPG elements are kind of weak in this game. In a negative way. Like I wish they were better.
Uh,
And I'm glad you said that you played God of War, Emmett, because this game has the opposite problem that I have with the God of War games, where I think that the RPG systems in the God of War games should be toned down a little bit. I think that a lot of those systems are unnecessary. um,
Oh,
um,
like the weapons kind of thing,
like
like the upgrading and
yeah,
whatnot.
all of that stuff. I think some
Yeah,
of it can
I
be toned
agree.
down. But I have the opposite problem with this game, where I think literally all of the systems from God of War would be great in this game. I think the being able to customize and upgrade individual pieces of your armor, and going to blacksmiths to upgrade your weapons and gear and all that stuff would actually be really would be perfect for this game. And they have that in this game. It's just not done very well. And you also have an AI partner in this game, but um, like similar to God of War, I wish that you could customize them more. Like you can customize like Freya and Atreus in the God of War game. Like, yeah, I just uh, that's all I have to say about the gameplay. In terms of the story, it heavily revolves around racism and environmentalism. So this world relies on magic to do everything, from creating fire to literally filling their cups with water. Um, and there are two ways to do so: using crystals, which ties into the environmental aspect, and bearers, which tie into the racism aspect. Bearers are people born with the ability to use magic without crystals, and they are treated as slaves. And
mm,
the crystals, they come from these five gigantic structures called mother crystals. And the problem there is that using magic hurts the land itself, causing a blight that sucks the life from the plants and prevents magic from being used in those areas where the blight has came.
mhm.
And it's spreading slowly across the entire planet as people continue to use this magic. Um, and naturally, wars are fought over these things, and the main character Clive is caught in the middle. And the story is heavily inspired by fossil fuels and how they're used in real life and the wars fought over them. And
Right.
yeah, the story's so good. And oh my god, it's the boss fights are, I want to say they're God of War level, but they're not because they're bigger.
Ooh.
Like
So like Shadow of the Colossus level, maybe?
no, because God of War is bigger than Shadow Colossus in terms of boss
Oh,
fights. And yeah,
that's
no, you got to play God of War. God of War boss is getting insane.
I do. I do.
Also, Emmett, without spoiling it, you haven't played any of the other God of Wars other than 2018 and Ragnarok, but Ragnarok has.
No, I
I
haven't.
love God of War 3 is literally my second favorite game of all time. It has some of the
Really?
greatest bosses in any game, and Ragnarok has some bosses that rival bosses from God of War 3.
Wow.
So be excited for the boss fights in that game. They're incredible. So far, I mean,
I'll,
based on where you're at in the game, like there's one big boss fight at the very beginning that you've already fought. That's real good.
yeah. The should I do I spoil
I mean, I
what
don't
it
think it's a
is
spoiler. I
or?
think Ayera knows that you fight Thor.
Yeah, I
Oh
know.
yeah.
Like
That
that's
was
been in
so
all the
that was quite
trailers and
fun.
everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The way that that was handled. That's another thing of like mixing cutaway what are the and like play playing
Yeah, playing
like
with the
like
cuts.
you're getting a yeah, exactly. You're getting like a great story, but also you're getting great gameplay at the same time.
Yeah,
It was
there's
like
a lot.
masterful. Yeah.
There's a lot of that in Final Fantasy 16. Oh man, last night I played. I think what was the thing about the boss fights is, so I don't think that they go on for too long. I just think that they go on longer than you expect. Like you get to a point in the boss fight where you're like, well, obviously the boss fight's over, and then it keeps going, and you're like, what? is happening, and it just the boss fights every single time just keep getting more and more insane, and I'm like, what? This is far exceeded God of War. Like I was sitting like when I went to this game, I knew the bosses were going to be insane, and I was excited for it, but I was like, there's no way the bosses are going to be bigger than something like God of War or Asura's Wrath. They far exceeded both of those games. They really did. The boss fights in
Oh
these
wow.
games are amazing. I'm big on boss fights and hack and slashes. That's why hack and slash is my favorite genre. I really like good boss fights, and yeah, I'm excited for you to play this game. Whenever you get around to it. Ashley, you know what? I'm just remembering it's exclusive to PS5. You're not gonna play this game for years. Oh man, I forgot about that actually. I think this might be a game that will eventually release on like PC. Because PlayStation games do that. So yeah, I think this game will be on PC eventually. So you'll eventually be able to play it on PC.
Nice.
Um,